The calm before the storm. Shadows and revelations. A story of love, betrayal, and redemption. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. In the bustling heart of Genoa City, where the lives of the elite entwined with the struggles of the ordinary, tensions were brewing. The week of March 29th to April 4th brought not just the promise of spring but a tempest of emotions and revelations. Among the key players in this drama was Diane Jenkins, a woman known for her tenacity and fierce determination to reclaim her place in the world. After years spent in the shadows, she was ready to unleash everything she had. Diane stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows of her penthouse, gazing out at the shimmering skyline, her mind swirling with thoughts of revenge and redemption. She had been underestimated, and the time had come for the residents of Genoa City to recognize her power. Her plans were set in motion, and she was determined to reclaim what had been taken from her: her reputation, her family, and her life. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Diane, Adam Newman was grappling with his demons. The once revered son of Victor Newman had found himself at yet another crossroads. His recent choices had left him vulnerable, and as he sat in his dimly lit office at Newman Enterprises, he couldn't shake the feeling that danger was lurking just around the corner. The stakes were high, and the last thing he needed was more chaos, but chaos was precisely what was coming. As the clock struck noon on March 31st, Diane made her move. Armed with a meticulously crafted plan, she called an emergency meeting with key players in Genoa City: Victor Newman, Nikki Newman, and Jack Abbott. The meeting had been orchestrated under the guise of discussing business, but Diane had an ulterior motive. She was ready to confront the past and take control of her future. As they gathered in the opulent boardroom of Newman Enterprises, the tension was palpable. Diane, dressed in a tailored navy suit, exuded confidence. "Thank you for joining me," she began, her voice steady. "We have unfinished business to discuss." The room fell silent, the air thick with anticipation as everyone braced for her next words. Victor, his steely gaze fixed on Diane, responded, "What exactly do you mean by unfinished business?" There was no room for pretense. Victor knew better than to underestimate Diane. Diane leaned forward, her eyes locked on Victor's. "I've spent years in the background, but no longer. I want my rightful place in this family, in this community. It's time for the Newmans to recognize my worth." Nikki exchanged glances with Jack, sensing the storm brewing. "Diane, we've all moved on. You've made your choices in the past. Why should we entertain your demands now?" Her tone was skeptical, but there was an undercurrent of concern. Diane straightened her posture, her resolve unwavering. "Because I deserve a second chance. This isn't just about me, this is about the legacy of the Newman name. If you want to protect it, you'll need my help." The meeting devolved into a heated exchange, with each party offering arguments and counter-arguments. For Diane, this was more than just a bid for acceptance. It was a fight for her identity, her future, and, ultimately, her revenge against those who had wronged her. While Diane confronted her adversaries, Adam found himself ensnared in a web of intrigue. Recently, he'd taken drastic measures to reclaim his position at Newman Enterprises, but the choices he made had left him vulnerable to outside forces. As whispers of betrayal echoed around him, he couldn't shake the feeling that someone was plotting against him. In a confidential meeting with his sister Victoria, Adam confided, "I have a sinking feeling that I'm being targeted. Someone within the company is leaking information, and I don't know who to trust anymore." His voice was laced with frustration and fear, emotions that he often struggled to express. Victoria, always the level-headed sibling, frowned. "You need to be cautious, Adam. If someone's after you, it may be tied to your recent decisions. Have you considered that it could be connected to your past?" Adam nodded, recalling the enemies he had made over the years. He felt the weight of his past decisions pressing down on him. "I can't let it take me down again. I have to find out who it is before it's too late." As Adam began his investigation, the clock was ticking. He was driven by a mix of desperation and determination, aware that the shadows of his past could consume him if he wasn't careful. April 2nd arrived with a palpable tension in the air. The stage was set for conflict, and each character was poised to play their role. Diane had gathered her allies, while Adam's suspicions deepened. The interconnected lives of Genoa City would collide in ways no one could predict. Diane's plan unfolded as she invited a select group to a fundraiser she was hosting, a lavish affair meant to showcase her new business venture. Among the guests were not just the elites of Genoa City but also those with hidden agendas. As the evening progressed, Diane took the stage, ready to unveil her grand plan and assert her dominance. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice commanding. "Tonight isn't just about charity, it's about rebirth. I am back in Genoa City, and I intend to make waves." The crowd murmured, surprised by her bold declaration. Meanwhile, Adam had his own plans for the evening. He discreetly hired a private investigator to gather intel on his potential adversaries. As he arrived at the fundraiser, he was both alert and anxious. He knew that the night could hold catastrophic revelations, not just for him but for everyone involved. As the evening progressed, tension mounted. Diane's confrontation with Victor, Nikki, and Jack drew near. Finally, she stood before them, defiant and unyielding. "I'm here to reclaim what's mine. You can either work with me or against me." In the back of the room, Adam observed the spectacle, his heart racing. Something was brewing beneath the surface, and he could feel the impending conflict. A sudden disturbance erupted, a glass shattered, and the room jostled as everyone turned to see what had occurred. Adam seized the moment to confront Diane. "You really think you can just waltz back in and demand a seat at the table? You think we've forgotten your past?" Diane, unflinching, shot back. "And you, Adam, you think you can rise from the ashes without dealing with your own history? This isn't just about me, it's about you and your demons as well." Before the argument could escalate, the lights flickered, plunging the venue into darkness. Gasps filled the room, panic ensued, and confusion reigned. In the mayhem, Adam felt a surge of adrenaline. This was his chance to get to the bottom of his suspicions. As the lights restored, Adam spotted a figure lurking in the shadows, someone he recognized as a former adversary. Realization dawned. He was not just. In a moment of vulnerability, Diane approached Adam. "We may not always see eye to eye, but we're both fighting our own wars. How about we join forces? I can help you take down whoever is after you if you help me cement my place here." Adam, still reeling from the revelations of the evening, considered her proposition. "I'll think about it, but I can't promise anything." He felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps this was the beginning of an alliance born out of necessity. As the two navigated the tumultuous waters of their lives, the challenge ahead was daunting, but the prospect of working together ignited a sense of determination within them. They would face their enemies, confront their pasts, and forge a future that could lead to redemption or further conflict. The events of April 4th would forever change the landscape of Genoa City. With new alliances formed and old grudges reignited, Diane and Adam's paths became entwined in ways they could never have foreseen. As they prepared for the inevitable showdowns, the stakes rose higher than ever. With Diane's ambition and Adam's resilience, they were ready to unleash their fury upon those who threatened their security. Together, they would face the depth of betrayal, the warmth of unexpected companionship, and the possibility of redemption. Genoa City had always been a place where secrets festered. Now, as the characters lined up for battle, the truth would finally come to the surface, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their intertwined fates. And so, as the sun set on Genoa City, casting long shadows against the backdrop of ambition and desire, the scenes were set for confrontations that promised to be explosive, and the audience watched in anticipation of the revelations to come. As the dust settled after the storm, the stakes would only continue to rise. Would Diane reclaim her place in the Newman legacy, and could Adam navigate the dangers that lurked within and outside his family? Only time would tell in this tale of love, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of redemption in the world of the young and the restless. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, but for Diane and Adam, the fire had been ignited, and their journey had only just begun. What lay ahead would test their limits, reveal their true natures, and ultimately determine their fates in the ever-complex interplay of relationships in Genoa City.